right, guys, welcome to episode 5, podcast 5 of the Free Pizza Podcast. We made it number 5, which is so weird because, I don't know, but we're here with Shockley from Greensboro. She's a multimedia artist from right here in Greensboro. How you doing, Shockley?
I'm pretty good, hanging in there, you know.
Yo, she brought Doritos, which is so sick, and iced coffee. But she brought hers with some sweetener and espresso, and ours are just bland, so.
Coffee is never bland, and you shouldn't say that about the best beverage that's been made on this planet.
I think it's selfish that you didn't bring.
I'm a selfish lady.
Yes, you are. Anyways. To get started, kind of describe it as what a multimedia artist is, because that's a lot of things. So what exactly is that to you?
I guess basically the best way I can describe it is just like because of my growing interest in like different kinds of materials, I just sort of try and pair things together that go well together. So I could be working with silicone, I could be working with ceramics, I could be making drawings or paintings, I could be making sculptures, but I kind of just try and combine things that I think go well together based on color, based on texture, that kind of thing.
Right, so it's a lot of different things all in one to create the end goal, end result, which is awesome because your work is really good. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I want to know what you're doing right now with your work. Are you still in school, or are you freelancing? What's going on?
I graduated about a year ago, so right now I'm kind of just working on my own stuff. I had a show with a group of people a little while after I graduated. Since then, I've kind of just been working on this series of collages, I guess you could call them, or paintings or drawings, mixed media, sort of two-dimensional pieces. And I'm kind of wrapping up that series, looking for maybe some shows to submit them to, trying to work on maybe getting back in my ceramics game, my functional work, because I bought a potter's wheel.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get better at throwing again.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So taking a step backwards to the beginning, where did it all start? How old were you? Where were you? Did you study in school? Influenced by your parents? What's up?
I guess like partially influenced by my parents. Like my dad's really creative, and like he paid for school by making art a lot of the time. Like he would do portraits to pay for like his schooling. So that was sort of always there. But like I always just wanted to like make stuff with my hands if I was like doing drawings, or like even when I was really little, like making mud pies outside. It was just like such a like kid thing to do, but just like digging up the ground and being like, I made a pie. And, you know, just being, I don't know, a weird kid. Yeah. And I haven't changed that much. I mean, ceramics is pretty much essentially making mud pies still. Yeah. You know? So I kind of just keep playing.
Yeah. So you're still like living out your childhood life kind of.
Yeah. Never stop playing. Yeah. Always play.
Of course, which is so badass. So this started when you were really young then. So your dad was a photographer. You say he made portraits?
Pencil portraits.
So he drew.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was more of a physical kind of artist as well.
Yeah, he would work from reference photos that he would take, but he mostly did pencil portraits, and he did some painting, but he didn't do as much painting as pencil portraits. Wow. Like photorealistic, like sort of that kind of thing.
That's awesome. So did he kind of see what you were doing when you were younger and kind of like, oh wow, she's going into art direction? So did he like kind of like aid you in that growing up throughout like middle school, high school and stuff?
They definitely did, but I definitely flourished more like with my like middle school and high school art teacher. Like she definitely like saw it in me, and she was a ceramicist, so she was like the first person who got me into ceramics and like had me explore that, which was really interesting and really, I don't know, inspiring and really cool.
That's awesome.
So like between that and just like knowing that's pretty much all I wanted to do, just kind of went in that direction.
That's awesome. So back in your middle school and high school, the teachers, they saw that and you kind of just, is that when you started taking it really seriously, like as far as a life term goal or what?
I don't, seriously, taking something seriously.
Yeah, very true.
I don't know. necessarily when I started like taking it seriously. Probably college is when I started actually like working really hard on my artwork.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't work hard in high school, but it was still one of those things where it was like, oh, this would be really neat to do. But I didn't really think of like the career potentials or like what I wanted to do if I got an art degree and what I would do with that. But really in college that started to come together and me be like, oh, I could like do this or that. And being willing to like sacrifice other things for the sake of making.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of time. Obviously, you've been in the studio a lot throughout, your undergrad and stuff. And, that's just very serious when you get into it with college and stuff because you're under a lot of pressure. So describe that a little bit. How was your college experience with being an artist?
I mean, I loved it. I loved getting access to a giant studio that had tons of equipment and we get 24-hour access at UNCG, like you can swipe in. So just like having the ability to work anytime I wanted was really amazing. And also having the ability to like use all this different kind of equipment and have people like teach you all these different kinds of things. It was a really growing experience. But also at the same time, one of those experiences where I was like, oh, wow, I don't know shit. Where you're just like, oh, my God, there's so much for me to learn.
Yeah.
And there's, like, I still feel that a lot. But,
right. We never stop learning.
Yeah. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Stop learning.
That'd be dumb.
That's when you die.
For sure. So you would say you had a very positive time doing art in school. Mm-hmm. Because, I think a lot of people, they're like, some people are pro doing in school, pro not, pro like doing it yourself and not having a teacher. Someone was like having a teacher is great. So you enjoyed having little kind of like teachers and stuff and figures that kind of help you out along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple really excellent professors. Like I mean, I definitely had some professors like where we just didn't hit it off and we just sort of couldn't figure out how to communicate. But I had a couple like really good core professors who like, even if we didn't agree on something, we could figure out a way to sort of like get past that, or they could give me advice that would help me get to the point that I wanted to get to versus them being like, no, do what I want.
Right.
Like follow my aesthetic.
Right.
So I sort of found the right people at the right time. So I got really lucky with that. And I think a lot of people don't get lucky with that. A lot of time it's like they find the great professor like their senior year and then
it's too late.
Well, yeah.
It's not too late.
Then they're like, hi, bye.
So it's good because you went to UNCG, which is awesome, very known for the arts, and so it seemed like you had your freedom there too.
Yeah.
Even though you had stuff you had to do, but you still had your creative freedom, which is badass.
Yeah, it was great. Well,
good. So more specifically to your work, can you describe what your style is like of your work, if possible? Because it's kind of the work you sent over is like it's all over the place, which is awesome. But how would you describe the style of your?
It's very color based, and it's very texture based, I guess. So like I might work in different mediums like sculpture versus painting versus whatever I'm working on. But most of my decision making falls back to at this point, like, are the colors working together? Are the textures working together? And what's the composition look like? So I kind of try and bring each piece back to like thinking about those things as I make them. Mm-hmm. So aesthetically, I don't know, I use a lot of really bright colors and a lot of really like divergent textures in the same piece to sort of like bring out the differences in them.
Right. So is there a reason why you use the bright colors? Is it kind of have like a meaning to it, or are you just kind of just throwing it in because you like the way it looks?
I started working with colors sort of by accident. I ended up casting like layers of colors in plaster for some pieces, and then I just got really excited about it. Yeah. And I just sort of kept working with color, and I don't know, I think it's really playful. I think my work is really playful. It's a little bit childish. I look at a lot of like children's toys and things like that, or like kids' playgrounds. So like I do have a lot of like really bright, interesting colors. Because even though like we grow up, we still like there's still something in us where like, oh, you see a bright color, you look at that thing,
yeah, exactly.
So it like is a really good way to like instantly grab someone's interest, and then like if they don't like it, they can fuck off, but like go look at something else, and that's fine because not everyone's gonna like the same thing. But
very true.
you know, it's a cool way if like someone's like, oh, I love that, let me go look at it some more. So yeah, just kind of like grabbing people's interests, like how you grab a kid's interests, like
exactly
that kind of thing.
Bright, vibrant colors.
Yeah, trick them.
Yeah,
trick them into looking at it.
It's like, I want to see what this is.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is awesome. So like, you would say you definitely get your ideas from. Do you see things out and like, oh wow, that was fucking cool, that's gonna inspire me to do this, or is it all in your head?
Oh no, I definitely like see things out. Like I spend a lot of time on Instagram too, looking at a lot of other artists, which is really helpful. But seeing things out, also looking at a lot of everyday things. So I like recently completed a series that's like mostly about different food things. So like looking at a lot of foods, and then like my next series, I'm thinking about doing pieces based on like appliances and like sort of everyday things that you like come in contact with, but then like, what if it was electric purple? You know, like that kind of thing, like a vacuum cleaner that's green and has polka dots on it, you know, I don't know. And kind of just like rearranging things we look at all the time.
That's awesome, because like you're just twisting what everyone looks at, which is super cool. It's just like, what the fuck? Is that a vacuum with dots on it?
That?
What the hell is that?
Why is that there?
That's badass.
I don't know.
I need to buy it.
Yeah. You want that ugly vacuum in your corner? Yeah.
Of course I do.
Great.
But so with that, your creative process. So you see the everyday thing, or you kind of get out of here what you're gonna do. What's your process in actually making the end result of making a tangible product? So are you drawing something out and then doing it, or what?
A lot of times I do draw pieces beforehand, and sometimes I'll draw them afterwards as well. But they sort of never end up being the thing I drew initially.
Yeah.
But drawing is a really good way for me to like figure out what kind of forms I want to use. It's like a really nice step for me to be like, oh, I can visualize this in 2D, and then like once I start making it in 3D or in like a relief piece or something, I tweak it, you know, and it changes a lot. It's sort of you get surprised while you make things.
Yeah.
Like you're not expecting it to be that, and then you like put something else next to it, and you're like, oh, maybe that should be that, and not like this other thing. So it does start with drawings, but then it does also change a lot. Being able to compromise, I guess. Yeah. With my pieces.
That's good. It's good to have, you know, kind of like you make something, you have an idea of something, then something kind of hits you like midway. It's like, oh shit, this is cool. I'm going to change it up a little bit, and you know, the result's always usually pretty good, because this is awesome. Your work's really good. And as for the viewers, Anthony's putting these photos in the YouTube video. If you're listening, go to the YouTube video, check out her work, because it's incredible. But anyways, more on Lizzie's process, Shockley's process. I'm sorry. Do you ever hit any like roadblocks when you're creating? Like, how do you overcome those if you do?
Usually just by like chain smoking in the studio while I stare at it. That's really, I mean, yeah, roadblocks happen all the time, but when I get frustrated with a piece, I usually just end up spending a lot of time staring at it. Yeah. That's kind of what it comes down to, and like putting different things with it and sort of like being like, does this work? No, that's shit. And like throwing that away, and then being like, well, does this work? No, that's garbage. I don't like it. And then just kind of like, yeah, sort of figuring out what happens. Sometimes, like a lot of the time, I'll end up putting a piece like away and coming back to it a couple months later. Like the drawings, I'm drawing collages, weird things I'm working on right now. I mean, I started those, I think, a year and a half ago, and I put them away for like 9-10 months or something, and then like pulled them back out later, and then like they totally changed when I started to pull them back out, but like they were very heavily still based on like how they started. But a viewer wouldn't necessarily like know that from like seeing it, but like I do, because like I was there. That's so wild. So I just kind of, you know, put everything in the attic, and then Bring it back when it's not horrible anymore.
It's kind of good to put a fresh eyes on stuff like that anyways. You know, sometimes when you're into it, you're just like, okay, I just can't do this anymore. And then you toss it, come back, it's like fresh eyes. You're like, boom, I have an idea for it. And you just kind of complete it. It's crazy, like over a year later, you're finishing some work that you started, like I say, a year or 9 months ago, whatever. That's pretty crazy. Because I always wondered, I mean, stuff you never really know.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, well, I'm pretty fucking crazy, so it makes a lot of sense.
This is very, very true.
Yeah. Fact. Can't argue with it. Just own it. You know.
So if you were to do a piece straight through, how long does it usually take you if you didn't have any setbacks? Because obviously this stuff is very physical. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of different things.
It kind of depends. Like some pieces I can finish in like a week, depending on like what materials I'm using, because certain things take like certain amounts of curing time, and then other pieces will take me like months to finish. Yeah. And it sort of depends on how many times I change my mind while I'm making it, because that definitely lengthens the process a lot, for sure.
That's so wild. I can only imagine stuff taking so long, but I mean that's awesome. It's good tedious work. Keeps your mind going.
That's the rumor.
Yeah.
Yeah. TikTok.
So are you doing a lot? Have you done a lot of client work? Like any commissions or anything? Or is this all kind of for you right now?
Mostly it's for me, although I am kind of working on a couple things that are like presents for people.
Yeah.
Where they've like vaguely like mentioned things and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna make them a sculpture. And or like I'm gonna make them like a thing and then like be like surprise.
That's cool though.
But yeah, that's pretty fun too. Because it's kind of neat to like get to make stuff for your friends and then like surprise them with something. So I do stuff like that, but I haven't gotten any like commissions.
Right.
But that'd be cool.
Fine. I'm sure you'll get so many. It'll come with time.
Yeah.
Thing. So do you have any like? You talked about earlier that you want to go on Instagram and you find an artist that you like. Do you have any specific names that you like or any creative inspirations that you want to maybe talk about?
I mean, like, as far as, like, big hitter artists, like, I love, like, Christo and Jean-Claude and, like, Yayoi Kusama and, like, Ava Hess and, like, Frank Stella. I mean, you have, like, all those heavy hitters. But, like, on Instagram, I follow, like, a stupid amount of people on Instagram because I'm on there, like, every 5 minutes. But people, like, his Instagram name is Slop Wop. But his real name is, I think, Ryan Martin Harris. Okay. And then there's another sculptor duo, and I don't know what their name is, but they go by Chiazzo on Instagram. Chiazzo. Which is really cool. And, like, just sort of Instagram's so cool because it's really informal, but you get to see a lot of people's process, which is why I really enjoy it. So I'm just constantly on there and sending people things or having people send me things.
It's like, yo, help me out. Look at this. Wow. It's a great way. It's really an awesome way for people, especially artists, to connect. I mean, Instagram is such a great thing. But so why their work? What inspires their work? What inspires you about their work?
Their work's really interesting because it's also, I really like, they also use a lot of bright colors. Their pieces are really form-based also. So I find that really interesting and inspiring. And like Slop Wop, who I'll call him that since I'm not 100% on his name, on his real name, on his human name. He does a lot of like found object work as well. And I have like a lot of found objects and like pieces that I make or like rearticulated objects and pieces that I make. And so that's really interesting to get to see how someone else does that. You know, like I would never make the same thing if I picked up the same object on the street that he picks up, but like seeing how someone else does it is really, really neat. And like his line work is really good too, like in space. Just bright colors, funky things, fun stuff, pop, awesome. Jazz.
That's awesome. Slop Wop.
Toys. Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Slop Wop, because I'm going to look at that after this interview. That sounds very interesting.
He's cool. Cool stuff.
Yes.
Neat stuff.
Have you had any awesome, maybe big or small accomplishments throughout your
I have no accomplishments.
You do
I've
have
accomplished nothing.
You've been in the shows.
Sometimes I take naps that are as long as I plan them to be. I've done some residencies. I'd love to do more residencies.
Oh, that's right. You have done some. You've been up north.
Yeah, that was really fun. I went to Salem Artworks, which is in upstate New York. For those of you who don't know, it's a really cool place. You should check it out. And that was really fun. And I'd love to do sort of residencies in North Carolina, though. North Carolina has a really strong art community, and also a super, super strong ceramics community, because the ground here is clay, so you can use it. So like there are a lot of potter communities throughout North Carolina.
Very cool.
And there are a lot of really amazing like residencies you can go to here. So before whatever I do later, I'd love to do some more residencies and stuff. That'd be really interesting.
So kind of give us, for the people who don't know, and I know a little bit about them, what do you do at the residencies?
So residencies are basically like a place where you can go and create work with other creative people. And different residencies are a little bit different. So some residencies, like you could go to a residency for being a musician or being a writer or being a visual artist. And then you kind of just like live in this space or this community for however long you're there. 'Cause like some residencies are like 3 years long, some are like a week. And then some of the time you exchange work for like payment for the residency, but it's just really interesting, like getting to spend time with creative people. 'Cause like, that's a really big thing I miss from like being in college, is like being around people who also take making very seriously.
Yeah.
And like now it's like harder to find people. People are like, oh, you're an artist. That must be neat. You want to make me something? And you're like, I mean, I will, but you're laughing at me, so I don't want to.
You think it's not a joke, you know?
So that's a really amazing thing about residencies. All of you should go to residencies.
Yes.
Do it.
It sounds like a place where you really just dial into your work and connect and, flourish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is awesome. I've had a couple of friends in those. I've always kind of wondered myself what exactly that is. So I'm glad you kind of cleared that up for me as well as everyone listening.
Hi, everyone.
Yes. So where do you want to end up with all this? At the very end? Not the very end, because you'd be dying.
In death, yeah, in a coffin.
So
I'm just kidding. I want to be cremated. It's fine.
So where do you want to end up?
I'd like to go back to grad school, or to go to grad school, not back. I haven't been there for the first time. Just want to go the once. I'd like to go to grad school at some point, but I was in undergrad so long that I really need like time not being in school.
Understand that.
Yeah, right? Jeez. So it's good to take a breather, but I definitely want to go back to grad school and kind of toying with the idea of maybe being a professor. Not sure, but like, like a set payment plan of getting paid for doing a real job would be cool.
Yeah.
That's not, I don't know, where I work now or something.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Where you working? Where you working now?
Starbucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's Starbucks?
The one at Guilford College.
No shit.
Yeah.
For everyone not
Thank
in
God we
Greensboro.
don't have a drive-through. Bless
Yeah,
it.
Quaker Village.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out Quaker Village. That's where the tavern was.
What's up?
Jacob probably played shows there.
Sure did.
Awesome. So I think that's a very attainable goal. I can see you as a professor. That would be really cool.
Yeah, because then I'd get to be mean to people, but it'd be fine. Because they're kids,
Just boss them around.
But they're old enough where you can say, like, you need to fuck off right now. But, you don't get in trouble for it.
If you're tenure.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't. Yeah, maybe not before tenure, but post tenure, I could do that. It'd be fine. But yeah, you can't do that at Starbucks when people are being weird. It's
Bless
not
your soul,
appropriate.
Lizzie.
Somebody's got to. Jeez, thanks.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So hobbies outside of work, or hobbies outside of your ceramics. Do you do anything else to kind of like, if you feel just straight work, just straight art, art, sleep,
Straight
Starbucks.
Art, sleep, Starbucks. I read. I like reading. I do read a lot.
Everyone should read.
Reading's great. It's really fun. You just have to find things to read that actually interest you, because don't believe like bullshit high school, like here's your reading assignment. No, find a book you want to read, because then you'll like it. Otherwise it's dumb, and don't waste your time. Watching a lot of dog videos online. I mean, lots of dog videos online. Anything with a puppy, I want to watch it 100%. After this, I'm actually going to show you a video of a pug named Megan. So I hope you guys are ready for that. And all of the listeners should also Google that. YouTube it. It's great.
A pug named Megan.
A pug named Megan.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm so excited. We're gonna wrap this up so I can see this video. Mm-hmm. It better be good.
It will be.
So I guess wrapping this up, what advice would you give to amateurs or up and comings?
Well, I kind of still view myself as an amateur, so I guess the advice I would give to other people in the same boat is like, just keep on that grind. Yes. Just keep making, because that's the hardest part, is to like just make things, because like half of the stuff you make is going to be shit, and that's okay, because it's going to be shit. Everybody's in that boat. Yep. That's fine. So, make so every once in a while you get, a little golden nugget, a little golden nugget. Good stuff.
Heck yeah. I agree with that. It's very straight to the point. Yes, I mean, grinding. You got to do it every day. Maybe not every day, but every day.
Or at least thinking about it.
Yeah, of course.
Even if you can't get in the studio one day.
Just maybe write down some ideas.
Yeah, sketch a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, something. Watch dog videos.
Oh my gosh. This pug video.
Yeah, Megan.
And how can we find you on social media?
My Instagram handle is Shockley Traub.
Yes.
ShockleyTraub. That is also my website, where you can go look at my work.
The .com. So
yeah.
www.shockleytraub.com.
Exactly.
And it's going to be in the description down below. And you can click it or copy and paste it into your address bar.
Either one, whichever your preference is.
And hire her to make you food things.
Oh yeah,
for
send me weird things.
Yeah.
I love making weird stuff.
That'd be awesome.
I think that's hilarious. More funny weird art, because everyone has enough boring paintings in their fucking house.
Yeah, twist your life up a little bit.
Like, you want to look at a landscape? Go outside. God damn. Like, like, not that landscape art is bad. It's beautiful. I'm so proud of all those landscape artists.
That does landscape work.
No, but that's different.
She just called us all out.
Colin specifically. I don't know. I can't think of
She almost threw shade on someone, but it's fine. But no, thank you, Shockley.
You're welcome.
The Shockley. So
the
awesome
Daniel.
to be here. Thanks for the Doritos. Thanks for almost bringing pizza. She almost brought pizza, but it's not here. So
sorry.
We have yet to have pizza one of these things.
Fucking it up.
Anthony's pissed and Jacob's pissed. And Jen's probably pissed in Atlanta, so.
I'm pissed here that I didn't have time to get pizza.
It's very selfish of you.
We already went over that I'm a selfish lady. This is, oh, God.
Oh, I'm mad now. On that note, I'm upset.
Jeez.
We're going to end this. Thanks for listening. Yes, please, if you like these, which you should review them on the podcast app. Give us 5 stars or 1 star if we suck. Either way, we got your review, which is so sick. And on YouTube, hit the like. Do it. Please subscribe. And so we can get better. And we get money one day, maybe, from YouTube views. And they'll put ads on our videos for movies you don't want to watch.
Yeah. And then go to Shockley's Instagram and like all of her photos.
Yeah, please go to Shockley's and just like them all. Go to the first one and just like them all.
Yeah, kind of be
Straight
a creep
through.
about it and like go through. Yeah, just like every one of them.
I love when people are creeps. That's so much fun. It's the best.
But no, thank you, Shockley, for coming.
You're welcome.
You're the best. I know you want to show us this video, so we're going to go ahead and cut this.
All right. Goodbye.
Peace out.